Hey there, it is Tuesday. I got back from work a little while ago and I decided I wanted to start my Pride reading vlog that I've been kind of thinking about maybe doing, and I guess I am right now. I wanted to make some videos obviously centering around Pride Month and queer books and, you know, queer literature. And so I thought I would read 3 of like my most anticipated queer reads that I've gotten recently. The first one I got, and I started it not yesterday but the day before that, is Satisfaction Guaranteed, and I have gotten so far into it in an unhinged amount of time. I don't know why I'm like this. I am 190 pages in and it is so good. Last night I read like 100 pages in like a few hours and I was just sitting there like consuming it and just being like, okay, one more chapter, and it was just so fun. Like, I love when books are like that. Like, it's just such a fun experience. But basically this book is about this girl Cade and this girl Selena, and Cade basically at the beginning of this book goes to her aunt's funeral, and Selena basically was like really close to her aunt and ran their like sex toy shop with her aunt. So when her aunt dies, she leaves the sex toy shop to Cade and Selena. So now they have to like run this business together, and it's like they don't really know each other, and it's really like opposites attract, which has been like really fun. I've never read anything like that, so it's just been really fun. The other 2 books I'm gonna read are Dead Girls and what is it called? The Falling in Love montage. So yeah, I'm really excited. I love reading queer books, so this is extremely exciting for me. I also probably will make this like a spoiler-free vlog, so yeah, just a heads up. But anyway, I'll see you in a little while and catch up with you then. Okay, so this is just a side note, but as I was thinking about this book and talking about it, I wanted to mention that I love the characters in this book. I feel like they're just both really interesting. Like, Selena is like so like outgoing and sex positive and just like so fun, and then Cade's like the more like, you know, centered, like mature, like I don't know, like just like has her shit together kind of person, and they just balance each other in such a cute way, and I'm just so excited to see where this goes. I can't wait. I'm literally going to the store with my friend right now and I'm like, I just want to read. Like, I just literally want to read this. And this is definitely one that I'm going to have to reread like soon, because I get like this with romances where I read them so fast, like in like 2-3 days, that the buildup and the time that passes in the book isn't like relative to like how fast I'm reading it. So like it kind of doesn't hit me the same. So I definitely like to reread them at a slower pace like the second time around. So I'm just so excited. I really like this book, and I'm so happy that like I just found another queer book that I love. Good morning, friends. It is the next day, and I actually didn't finish Satisfaction Guaranteed last night, which I'm honestly happy about because I really don't want this to end. It is just getting so good, so juicy, like it is so good. It's so good. What I really appreciate about this book is that I really like the characters, like I've said, but more than that, now that they're forming this relationship, what I love so much about it is that it is so healthy. It's just depicted in such a healthy way, especially like all the mentions of sex and like their like each of their histories with sex, and just all of that. It's just so positive, so healthy, so wholesome, so good. I have tabbed like so much of this. I'm just enjoying this so much. Like I literally love it. It's so good. I did have a moment last night where something really took me out of the story, which is the fact that the author unironically used the term bae. That didn't sit right with me, to be honest with y'all. I just, like, the millennial jumped out. Like, I can't. Like, no. Like, they seriously used the term bae. Like, I just had to pretend that it didn't say that. Like, I was like, it says babe. It says babe. It's fine. It doesn't say bae. It doesn't say bae. Like, I had to convince myself that it just didn't say that, or else I couldn't keep going. Like, I've seen enough. So that was kind of jarring. Wasn't super into that, but I'm gonna be honest, that was like the only flaw I could pick out of this. Like, this has just been so great. I just love it. I love like all the side characters. They both have like really great like best friends, and they're like a big part of both of their lives. I love like the yearning and like how they both like each other but like don't really want to admit it. And our character Selena in this book, she starts as being like introduced as being celibate because she basically just felt like she was having sex and like using sex for the wrong reasons and just doing it in an unhealthy way. Like she just felt not good about her choices or whatever. And so she was trying to remain celibate until she felt like her life was a little more put together and she was like a little more in control, which is just a really cool narrative. Because Cade, on the other hand, she has this whole different experience where she's only been with like a few people and she's just like not really inexperienced but definitely less experienced than Selena. So it like kind of shows that dynamic, which I find super interesting. And like I feel like that's what makes this relationship so positive. It's like so not judgmental. It's just like, it's so great. I'm loving it so far. I just love everything about it. Another part that I love about this is the fact that Selena is an artist. She's a painter, and it's a really repressed part of herself, but it's a big part of the story. And Cade is like, she owns part of her family's art gallery, and it's like a really famous art gallery. And so they both have like a really unique connection to art, which is just like so cool. And what I also find really interesting about their relationship is that it's mentioned about how like Selena's ex was just like really, really toxic and like abusive. And it doesn't show any like scenes of anything like abusive or anything actually happening, but it definitely like mentions just like that she had a shitty ex and her ex was just horrible and took horrible advantage of her, which is so mean. But it's so obvious that Cade is so unlike her ex and is just so much more comforting to her, and they're both just like really safe for one another. So I'm gonna read some more. Yeah, I'll check in later and let you know how it goes. Oh my god. I just finished. Satisfaction guaranteed. I am speechless. I am genuinely speechless. Okay. Let me go over what I just read. This last section was a little difficult to read because I feel like at the end of like every romance they throw in a little angst, you know, to like justify a happy, good ending. But that always makes me so anxious. I hate reading angst. But god, this was so good. Like the ending, it just, the angst, it was appropriate. It was appropriate, and the way it ended was just so beautiful and so good and such a happy ending. Honestly, I just fell in love with this book. It's just so good. Like, I'm tempted to just rate it 5 stars because I literally loved this. Like, it was so good. Oh my god, everything about it was so good. Oh my god. Like, I'm just like so excited about it and sad to let it go, but I will be rereading this very soon. And that that is a promise. Honestly, like, I feel like this was one of the best sapphic romances I've ever read. Like, it was so good. The storytelling was just beautiful. Their build-up was beautiful. And they were both just such likable characters. And they were just so great for each other. And it's just so good. Jeez, oh my god, how am I literally gonna move on from this? I feel like so attached to these characters now. Like, oh my god, like I really don't know how I'm gonna move on. I feel so attached to them and their like relationship. I feel so attached. All right, well, that was Satisfaction Guaranteed. Highly suggest. I literally loved the shit out of this. I loved it. It was so good. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna make all my friends read this. Alright, well, time for me to process this and reread all the parts that I highlighted. Like, look at these tabs. This is an important piece of literature, y'all. Oh my god, this was amazing. I can't wait to read the rest of my books for this vlog. Like, oh my gosh, it's just gonna be so fun. Like, we really started this off with a bang. Like, this was incredible. Hi, me again. I came back because I just was going through like the end pages of this book, and the author wrote this like blurb in the back that I thought was like really cool, and was like talking about when she like would teach creative writing and all this stuff, and says that the theme of Satisfaction Guaranteed can be summed up by one of my favorite quotes of all time. And it's this quote by Oscar Wilde that goes, "To look at a thing is very different from seeing a thing. One does not see anything until one sees its beauty." Oh my god. I actually read that before I read the book, like, because I usually will look at like the end stuff, see like what's at the end. So I saw that and I didn't really like, you know, understand it at first. But now I feel like I really understand like what it means and like why she said like that's what the theme is. The way these characters like both have like really interesting expectations on both of them that they put on themselves and others put on themselves, but that like they were really the first ones to see one another. Like, wow, it's just, oh my god, I'm obsessed. Hi friends, it is Thursday. I'm outside because I wanted to start Dead Girls. I actually started this yesterday, but I only read the like prologue, which was only a few pages, and right off the bat was so interesting and intriguing. But basically this is described as a Harlem Renaissance mystery. So let me read the back. It says, in Harlem, 1926, young black women like Louise Lloyd are ending up dead. Following a harrowing kidnapping ordeal when she was in her teens, Louise is doing everything she can to maintain a normal life. She's succeeding too. She spends her days working at Maggie's Cafe and her nights at the Zodiac, Harlem's hottest speakeasy. That sounds so cool. Called the Zodiac. It says Louise's friends, especially her girlfriend Rosa, might say that she's running from her past. But when a girl turns up dead in front of the cafe, Louise is forced to confront something she's been trying to ignore. So it just sounds so interesting and so good. And the fact that it's set in 1926 is just like so intriguing to me. And look at this cover. It is so perfect. It's so perfect. I'm gonna start reading outside. I thought I would come outside because haven't been outside all day. And it's just because I don't really do outside activities. So I thought I'd bring my inside activities outside. I have this Red Bull. It's a dragon fruit Red Bull. Because I'm literally so tired and it's only 5. Like, why? I don't know. I wish I knew. I literally wish I knew. But yeah, I'm gonna drink this, hopefully get a little more energy and just read a little. I am back inside. I read up to page 38, the beginning of chapter 6 of Dead Girls, and I am loving this. A few things I really like so far about this is I love the writing style. I really like the time frame that it's in, just because I feel like historical fiction's so interesting because it gives you just like so much insight about how it was to live in the past, and it's just so unbelievable sometimes, like just because it seems like so long ago. Like I just can't imagine what life would have been like in 1926, you know, like that just seems like another universe. I find the perspectives really interesting in this, especially because it's centering around Black girls in Harlem, and it's already touching upon, like, because it's mentioning like certain crimes that have been happening, and our main character was involved in like a kidnapping when she was younger. It's already touching upon police brutality and racism and homophobia, so it's definitely not like brushing over those topics, which I didn't think it would at all, but I'm glad to see that being represented in like a realistic way. I also really like just the way her and her girlfriend are interacting, and how like their relationship is portrayed, like how it's like almost not defined, because like they didn't have words or like language for it back then. It just like was what it was. Essentially, we're following our main character Louise, who, like I said, she was kidnapped when she was younger, and she ended up getting away from her kidnapper and saving 3 other girls that were with her. So she's known as like Harlem's hero, and everyone in Harlem like knows about her. But now she's older and she hates like that title, and she feels like she let people down with how like she just grew, and now she's just like working at a cafe, and she lives in like a group home with like her girlfriend and like 5 other girls or something. And what just happened in the beginning of the story basically is they found the first like dead girl in front of her cafe that she works at. And so she goes to the speakeasy that night, and she's like totally not in the right headspace, obviously. And when she leaves, she sees this Black girl getting harassed by the police, and she goes up to them and is like, what did she do? Like, just leave her alone. And the police officer is obviously giving her shit, and she punches him. She literally just punches him, like girl boss shit. So she gets arrested. She's in jail for just like a minute there, and then eventually one of the officers is like, I won't like fully put you in jail or give you charges if you help us solve this case, because like of your past and whatever, we think you're really smart and you can help us, basically. Which, I don't know, that's just like, you know, very weird, and you know, questionable, and suspicious. Like, that's weird, that's suspicious. And so now she just is like, okay, like I guess I'll do that, or else you're gonna throw me in jail. And so she's like beginning that process of just like looking out for people around the speakeasy and stuff like that. And that's really where we're at right now, but it is just so interesting, so good. Big fan so far. I'm really excited for the rest of it. It is day 2 of reading Dead Girls. I am on page 146. This book has been so easy to fly through because it's so entertaining, and this author just like captures 1920s Harlem Renaissance era perfectly, like brings it to life perfectly, and just really shows the community there, and it's just really interesting. Basically, our main character is still like scoping out who's murdered these girls, and they're all from this like club that's attached to like the cafe that she works at. So they have that in common, So she's been like going there, trying to talk to the girls, trying to talk to like the guys, like the employees and stuff. We are learning a lot about her character and like her family and how she like feels like such an outsider in her family, which I find really interesting. I really like learning about our main character specifically. Like, she's just such an interesting character. I will say, I feel like I don't have any idea yet of like who this killer could be, because literally like all the men in this book are so horrible. Like, they're so horrible. Like, it's jarring. Like, it's just horrible. It's so intensely bad. So like all these men who are suspects, like the guys who are like running the club and the guys who are in the club and all of that, it's like, yeah, it could be anyone. Like, it could be anyone. The only guy that's decent is Rosa Maria's twin brother, Raphael. He's really great. He's a really good friend to Louise, and I'm pretty positive he's like aware of Rosa Maria and Louise's relationship, so he's like cool. But yeah, our main character Louise has gotten into like a bunch of like really shitty situations because she's doing this for the police so they won't arrest her. So they're like kind of just like using her as bait, and it's like really shitty, but that's what's happening. The queer aspects of it are definitely like just really beautiful and really like telling for the time, and I feel like this author does like a really great job of like showing how precious their connection is and their relationship is, and how like they're both like each other's safe space. So that's really cute, and I really love that part. But yeah, I'm loving this. I'm flying through it. I'm gonna read more tonight, and yeah, I think I'm gonna finish this pretty fast. It's like a mystery, so it's really enthralling. Good morning. It is a couple days later. I am so close to finishing Dead Girls, and this has just been so promising. It's been good this entire time. It's one of those books where like I'm just never dreading the next chapter. Like, I don't even think about it when the chapter ends. Like, I just keep going. Like, I'm not even putting any thought into it. It's addicting. It's so good. It's just such a good mystery. It's just so interesting and fun and atmospheric. So I'm definitely planning on finishing this today. I only have like 50-ish pages left, and it's like getting even more interesting towards the end, and the mystery like this whole time has been like so prolonged, but like appropriately so. It's just been really revving up to this conclusion, and it's crazy. But anyway, I went to a Pride clothing swap the other day with my friends. One of my friends hosted it, and I got some really cute stuff, so I thought I would show y'all some honorable mentions. First things first, I got this skirt, and I don't own any skirts, but I've been really meaning to start like buying skirts because I think they're really cute, but I haven't worn a skirt since like deadass probably the 6th grade. So anyway, I got this skirt. It's so cute. It's blue and plaid, and I love it. And the inside is like shorts, so it's super comfy, very cute. I also got this shirt. I just love this. I feel like this would be cute even like with a skirt or something, and I just love the colors. I think it's so cute. And lastly, I got a lot of stuff. Like, it was such a good experience, and I'm so proud of my friend Cass for hosting it and just like doing such a great thing for the community. But I did get this shirt from my friend Parker. It says lonely and it has a rainbow on it, and I'm obsessed. So these are like some of my favorite things that I got, so very exciting. But yeah, this book has just been super promising. The relationship has still been like really strong and really like just such a foundation to our main character's life, and I really just loved how it's been just like the constant in the book. There was even like a moment where they kind of got into like a little fight, but then they like just made up so easily because like they're just each other's best friends, and like they just knew that they had to make up and just had to like talk about it and get it over with and make up, you know. I also like that it's not like the main thing Like, it's definitely like the side kind of plot, if you will. But because of that, you can tell that like when Louise is not trying to solve this mystery, like that's where she goes home to. Like, she goes home to Rosa Maria, as well as Rosa Maria's brother Raphael. Like I said, like the three of them are just like such a cute little family, and her actual family she's just like really not close to, other than like her little sisters, but still not that close. So learning that part of her has just been really fascinating. So once I finish this today, I'm hoping tonight I will jump into the falling in love montage. I mean, look at this cover, first of all. It's so cute. I'm really hoping that this will just be like a really fun, kind of fluffy romance. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm gonna really like this, and I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, hopefully I'll get to this one tonight. It is around 2 p.m. and I just finished Dead Girls. Wow. I really liked this book. The ending was like so sad in a way, but also like very satisfying. Honestly, this book just kept my attention the entire time. All the relationships in this book that were positive were really enjoyable to read. I will say, heavy trigger warning for racism and like violence, obviously, and there is a scene that's like sort of graphic of our main character like literally almost getting raped, which is obviously really unsettling. So if you can't handle that, I would maybe skip this one. But other than all those trigger warnings that you should keep in mind, I do think this was just like a really well written book, especially for a debut novel. I loved how it was just like set in a different time period, and this author captured it so perfectly. I think I'm going to give this 4 stars. I really liked this book. There were little loose ends that I wish kind of got tied up a little differently, and how it concluded definitely made me think about like the beginning of the book and if it all made sense like as a whole, and I'm not completely sure about that. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I still really enjoyed this one. This is definitely less of a romance. I didn't really go into it thinking it was gonna be a romance, but there was romance in it, and it was really cute and really sweet. So yeah, that's Dead Girls. It was so good. I loved it. Hello. It has been a few days. I started the falling in love montage. I started this 2 days ago. I am on page 124, and I do like this, like the whole idea of the one character who has been like broken up with and her fear of like being in a relationship ever again, and the other character who's like, let's not take this too seriously, like let's just do all the fun like stuff they do in the movies like during the falling in love montage, but we won't actually fall in love. It's a really interesting concept. It's really fun. I mean, I'm only at the beginning of it, but I do like how it picks up pretty fast. Like, you don't have to wait the whole time for them to like form this sort of relationship. They are in their last year of high school, and it also like follows this side plot of basically our main character is named Saoirse, and the other girl is named Ruby. So since we're following Saoirse, we get a lot of insight on like her family and like her old friends and stuff, and like now she just really feels like alone because she broke up with her girlfriend, or her girlfriend broke up with her, and her best friend like knew it was gonna happen at the time. So that's all at the beginning of the book. So it really starts off with Saoirse being like a loner and just like being all alone, and her mom has like early onset dementia. So her mom is like 50 and is in like a nursing home literally, and her dad's getting remarried, and she's just not adjusting well to the changes. Like, she is just not happy about it at all. I could definitely see how people might think like Saoirse is an unlikable character, but so far like I see the point of her resistance. Like, I don't know if I'd necessarily act the way she's acting, but I see why she would be acting the way she's acting. I kind of like that this author is like writing this character to like have flaws. I think it's kind of interesting. So yeah, I'm really liking it so far. I really like both of the girls. I think I probably like she's not a side character, but not the character we're following, Ruby. I'm really intrigued by her and her character, and we don't know that much about her yet, so I think it's gonna be fun to learn more about her. I did literally spoil myself the other day because I went on Goodreads and was looking at reviews, and I literally saw one that was like contained spoilers, and I was like, and I pressed it anyway, and there was really like one sentence that like said something about the end, and I was like, oh god. But honestly, like, maybe for the best. Here's the thing, I kind of spoil myself like all the time. Like when it comes to TV shows and stuff, I'll like look stuff up because I want to know. Like I don't want to be like hit with something I'm not ready for. But when I saw this spoiler, I was like, damn, I don't know if I wanted to know that. But then I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, honestly, it's fine, because I think the ending would have really kind of made me a little upset. I will say I saw this one review that was like, this is not a love story, this is just a story about dementia and it's super misleading, whatever. And I don't know if like that's gonna be like even more prevalent as you keep going, but it is really prevalent like now. And I feel like even though it's giving our character a lot of depth and you're really getting a lot of insight into her life, it is something that I enjoy less than like all the scenes between her and Ruby. I don't know, like it's definitely an interesting storyline, especially like the fact that her mom's so young and she practically lost her mom at such a young age. Like her mom doesn't remember her, and the fact that she talks about how like it's possible for her to get like that when she's older, and she's so scared of that, and she feels like no one's gonna want to love her because she's just gonna like be useless at some point, which obviously isn't true, but like that's her mentality at this point. So it is really sad in that aspect, like when you think about it. But I've definitely been less interested in like those parts because it's like so like serious, and the other parts with her and Ruby are like really lighthearted and cute, so I definitely enjoy those parts a little more. But yeah, I'm going to start reading this now. Hopefully I'll get a good way into it and see how it goes. Alright, so I've been reading the Falling in Love montage. I am on page 218 and I'm having mixed feelings. I really like how the girls' relationship is progressing, but I also am just like becoming so frustrated with Saoirse, just because like they're at this point where like they're being more vulnerable with one another, and Saoirse's still like not telling her stuff and is like just really wanting to like hide parts of her life that she just finds like too hard to talk about, which understandable, like I hear you, but it's so frustrating to read about. Like Ruby just told her something like sort of personal and was like, I want you to like tell me real things, like tell me something real about yourself, like don't keep secrets or lie to me, you know? And Saoirse was like, yeah, no more secrets, and she's just like hiding this like secret. It's not even like that big of a deal, I guess, because it's something that I feel like, you know, when it's the right time, when she's ready, she can talk about it. But the fact that it's like it's just, you can just tell that like it's gonna get messy when she talks about it for the first time. So yeah, Saoirse's actions are giving me anxiety. I'm just like, oh my god, why are you doing that? Like, why? So I don't really know how this is gonna go, like how this is gonna progress, or like I don't know if they're gonna like get into like a fight, because I feel like this whole moment that happened is kind of like it could go really bad. I feel like Saoirse might just like be too immature for this. I am on page 286 going into chapter 31. Oh my god. I am really I'm really not loving Saoirse's decision slash attitude slash character. I feel like in the beginning I was like a lot more empathetic about it, and I'm still like trying to like, you know, understand her character and like see her for who she is and not be like upset about it. But like some moments I'm just like, oh my god, like it honestly just feels like immature to me. And even the character Ruby was like, you know, it's not cool to like pretend you don't have feelings and like, you know, not talk to me. Like it's not like whatever, like that kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of agree. Like I get being scared, totally, that's totally valid, but like, oh, I just hate reading about like characters who just project so much angst. Like, I just hate angst. And part of me still is like, okay, I get why she's feeling, I get it, I do. But another part of me is like, why can't she just like be different? I'm literally just like, why can't she just try? We're at the end and I am nervous. I'm really nervous about how this is gonna end. It's around 7 p.m. I just finished the Falling in Love montage and I have like so many feelings about this and not all positive. I honestly am glad I knew the ending. I'm glad I was spoiled, because I think if I didn't know that, like, I'm mad. Like, I'm upset and I knew what was gonna happen. And I feel like that's one of the worst things you can like do in a book, is like not write a good ending. And like, I get the point of the ending, like it makes sense, but also I'm not happy about it. I feel like this was a lot more of like a sort of coming of age story, and we definitely see like towards the end the main character Saoirse, you know, does have a bit of character development, but I do feel like it took a long time to get there, to the point where like at that point I was like, do I even believe this? I did like the whole message like at the end that like, you know, even if you break up with someone or you know, cut ties with a friend, that doesn't mean it never happened and that love like never existed. And like the whole lesson of like that in conjunction with like her mom like forgetting her, I think that was really nice and beautiful and executed in a good way. But yeah, the ending, I'm not happy about it. I'm honestly really torn about what to give this book, like rating it. I'm so torn. Like I don't know. It's in like the 3.54 territory and I just can't decide where it lands. But yeah, that is it for now. I think if I were to rate the books that I read for this vlog in order, I think I literally read them in order of what I liked the most. Satisfaction Guaranteed was definitely my favorite, and then Dead Girls, and then this one. They were all really fun though. Like it was definitely really nice to see all these couples and like watch them unfold and like hear all of their stories. I did really enjoy how all the relationships in each of these books were very different but very wholesome. Like they really were all happy stories, so that is something I can't complain about. That is it for my queer reading vlog. Thank you so much for watching, and check out these books if you want. They were pretty great. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!